Hello and welcome to this video. This is going to be something a little bit different because today I'm giving you a tour of my Commonplace book / junk journal. I actually recorded the audio for this video at the same time I filmed it, but my neighbour decided to hammer and drill in the exact 20-minute window that I filmed the video, and the sound was inescapable. So I'm re-recording the sound, which is why my voice doesn't match my hand gestures in the video. And if you're wondering if I drank that cat hair in my coffee, yes I did. So the idea for this video came about when I posted a Filofax tour to my TikTok channel, and a follower called Mortician Black actually left a comment on the video, and I went to check out his profile and I saw that he had a TikTok tour of his Commonplace book, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So here we are. I actually only started commonplacing in September, and I was inspired by Ruby Granger, who did a video on commonplacing as a way to promote her Skillshare tutorial, and I thought, this sounds like a fabulous idea. I'm gonna get into a little bit of that. So on my birthday trip to TK Maxx, because let's be real, I am that girl and I don't care, I went digging around in the notebook section looking for the perfect Commonplace book, and there were some characteristics I was specifically looking for in a book, because I had a very strong idea of what I wanted to use this for. Now you'll see it's got 2 ribbon bookmarks. The front half of the book is traditional commonplacing, and the back half of the book is more like a scrapbooking junk journal type of a thing. Another thing I was quite particular about is the size of the book. I wanted it to feel manageable in the hand but still be big enough to write in. I wanted the cover to be flexible and tactile, which this is like a velvet lamb kind of fake leather effect. And I also wanted the book to be roughly the same size as my Kindle, so that when I travel around I can keep my Kindle and my Commonplace book together in my alligator skin folio, so that as I'm reading I can annotate directly into my Commonplace book if there's something that catches my fancy. I also specifically wanted a book with a very high quality paper, and I can't remember the name of the paper in this book, but it has a very fancy Japanese paper. It's a lovely thick silky stock, it's lovely to write on, and that's exactly what I was looking for. No flimsy see-through pages here, thank you very much. As well as modifying the cover, which we'll get into in a minute, I also added a pen loop to this book. It's just one that you can buy that you can stick directly in, and I got it at my local stationery store, and it just means I can keep a pen with the book, because what good is a commonplacing book that you're keeping next to your Kindle if you don't have a pen also there? So you'll notice that I have decorated the cover, and although some of these stickers are from Etsy sellers that I love and use regularly for my Filofax stuff, there are a few on here that I have made myself by sourcing images from Pinterest and my camera reel and Out and About, and I've printed them using my new favourite toy, which is a Zoe Mini 2 Canon printer. Now this is not sponsored or affiliated in any way. I just bought it and love it, and if you're watching a video like this and you're anything like me, having the power to print your own sticker, oh my god, shut up. Like, how could you resist? Honestly, how could you resist? I've gone through a ton of sticker sheets already just through pure sticker greed, So this is basically the setup that I am doing. So at the top here is the title of the publication and the author, the excerpts that I want, and then I've kind of highlighted the citation for it. Some of these come from the same book or the same magazine or whatever, so I've been kind of careful to make sure I'm noting down where they're all from. And this isn't just excerpts from books. I've got poems in here, quotes that I've taken, from social media, or just quote snippets. There's a piece in here from Herbs and Vices magazine, which I just thought was wonderfully written, and I took a couple of different excerpts from there. And really, the urge to commonplace is like basically copy magpie instinct, seeing things out and about that you just love and snapping a photo of it or bookmarking it and sitting down to write it out in longhand. For me, it's been a fabulous exercise in kind of copy working, helping sink different techniques into my skill set by actively writing them out longhand. And also it's almost kind of like a physical swipe file in terms of like writing samples, getting them all in the same place so they're not scattered around across my camera reel and my laptop and whatnot. Physical print samples, it's all here in one book for me. I also, in the back, as part of my junk journal, have put bits from my notes app on my phone. So this section is purely taken from my notes app on my phone. I wanted to have them in a physical location because you just don't know what's going to happen. And I can't lose my list of pet names. This has been curated over a really long time. And I need all those pet names and the kid names as well. I'm not planning on having children, but I need a list of children's names just in case. Don't ask me why, I don't know. Also on Instagram I saw Halloween candy and cheese pairings. I was like, yep, I'll take that. That's a great idea. I'm going to copy that down. My self-portrait playlist from Spotify. What if something happens to Spotify, That's a 3-hour playlist that took me a really, really long time to curate. And so I'm going to make a physical note of it here, just for my own reference, because I want to, It's just stuff like that. It's nice to have a permanent home for it. Last year I went to the Women in Revolt exhibition at the Tate Britain, and it moved me so profoundly, and now I've got a place where I can put the postcards and the literature from that. And now on to my little kind of photo stickers. As a Libra, I am a huge romantic, and I have a real thing for trying to capture and preserve moments in time, like snapshots in time, when you look out the window and the view is just perfect, or the sunset is exquisite, or there's something that you've seen that you can't bear to just let it be lost to time. I try and snap a little photo of it and capture the essence of that moment in the photo. And I wanted somewhere to print and put them. They don't mean anything to anyone who isn't me, and they don't need to. And you'll also notice with the kind of collage space fillers that I've done here, the kind of decorations, to the untrained eye, or anyone again that isn't me, that looks like I've just torn a random scrap out of a magazine, but I haven't. I'm taking a fragment of a place or an image with intersecting textures and shapes and light play, and I've really tried to choose images and places that elicit that nostalgic bittersweetness or kind of dreamy vibe that, let's be frank, most of the book has that vibe. And so the scrapbooking techniques that you'll see throughout, or the things I've chosen to use as place fillers, they look like they're not intentional, but they are very, very intentional. This is my favourite picture of my mum, or one of. It just feels really dreamy. And I got a snap there from when I went to Disneyland shortly after my mum passed away. Actually, it was my birthday and I really needed to get away, so we did that. And across the page I've kind of taken a beach scene and disconnected it and cut it up and then put it back together in a totally different way with a different form and a different shape. And the idea of that really appealed to me, to disconnect it like that. I'm very pleased with myself. Some photos I took at Highgate Cemetery, I quite enjoyed the composition of these and the movement in them, and I've managed to find a piece of editorial that matched the vibe, so I tore that up and I've kind of segmented that to use that as like a little framing artwork. And then I've got a couple of places opposite that really inspire me, Blenheim Palace and the Palacio de Cristal in Madrid. Both really gorgeous, stirring, romantic, pastoral places that I wanted to capture forever, and now I have. And these are some artworks that I made on Pinterest using the Pinterest collage feature. I was worried, what happens if they get deleted accidentally or Pinterest goes away? No thanks, ma'am. I'm going to print these on my little Zoe Mini. I've actually printed out a selection of the tarot cards I designed on Pinterest as well. And not content with that, I went away and actually ordered a physical deck for myself, which I'll show you at the end of this video. But yeah, just lovely little snippets of things I've seen that's just made me feel romantic, or something about the day, creepy tourism that I do, a list of life's glimmers, because again, as a very sensorial person and as a Libra, so much about everyday life delights me and is romantic and is wonderful. So I wanted to make a list of all the things I like best, including lemon curd and limerence. This is a photo of from a photo series about dreamscapes, and I really, really loved the lighting and the composition and the vibe of this picture. So I took a little snap of it, and I've paired it with this lovely cloudy sky. This is from the Danger Came Smiling exhibit that I went to. I don't like to take photos of other people's artwork, I'm going to be real with you, but I liked some of the concepts that were used in this, and I found them very inspiring, maybe for stuff that I would like to do, so I'm taking a photo of those. And then I did the same for the Mickalene Thomas exhibit, but I can't show them to you because they contain nudity and YouTube will do me. So yeah, that is my Commonplace book, and as I said, I've only been doing it since September, so long way to go, but I'm gonna have fun on that journey. And now I would like to show you the tarot deck that I designed on Pinterest. So I keep it in this note card box that my mamgie gave me years and years and years ago, just to stop it from getting damaged. And the cards were delivered in a plain card box because I didn't want to pay for a printed one, and I didn't want to design a printed one, although that was an option. And this is my Untamed tarot deck, which really focuses on feral femininity and that wild, untamable energy that I love so much about women and about being a woman. So on the back of the deck, I've kind of tried to bring that out with some pink snake skin. Obviously the snake being kind of a Lilith adjacent animal, and a snarling animal mouth, but with really luxurious glossy lipstick and stuff. So that's the vibe of the deck, and it's printed on a kind of a playing card stock, I think, 300 GSM, I think. They feel very good quality, very substantial. As you can see there, no complaints from me. And here's just a quick tour of the deck. I tried to find images for the central images that all had a very similar feel, like a relatively plain background, a head and shoulder shot, that type of a thing, and I took a really long time to find characters for each card that really told a story about that card. And I tried to find lots of different types of women and have them represented in this deck. Obviously I don't own the rights to any of these images, and none of these models have consented to being in a tarot deck. By the way, I love this card, that's my favourite. But because this is a private use deck that I've designed on Pinterest for myself and printed for private use for myself, I'm kind of hoping no one's gonna, call the law on me. But yeah, that's just a really fun creative project that I just had the best time on. And I wanted to share it with you. Just, if you fancy doing that yourself, or if you have done that yourself, wow, what a fun time. And in the spirit of continuing to be creative, I also decided to go ahead and make a 2025 mood board, or vision board, I guess. But instead of making a physical one and hanging it up and having it, in my office or whatever, I decided, no, desktop background. Let's get that thing in front of me every day at the office. And then, each year I can change it up, and then that means that my laptop has a whole new fresh feel. And I just made this on Canva. I think there was a template for it, very easy. And I've added a few elements that are unmistakably me, but I had a lot of fun with that. And that's the spirit of the year. We're being more creative, whatever that means, doing it in our own way, and we're having a right old laugh while we're doing it. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's kind of different from what I would normally do, but I'm hoping that's a good thing. I just wanted to share some of the other paper-based crafts I've been doing, writing-based crafts, and you can expect another Filofax video quite soon. I want to update you on how I've been getting on with my new setup and kind of show you around again now that I've been living in it for a while, any changes I may or may not have made to it. And yeah, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts down in the comments. Do you do commonplacing or junk journaling currently? Are you going to start? And what do you think of all this? What do you make of it? I look forward to hearing from you. And until next time, take care. Bye.